I'm Tracy Williams, your host, and welcome to Bounce TV, your one-stop shop for the tools you need to build a resilient, impactful, and successful life. A show with guests who are the best in the business at winning the game of life and in sports. So get ready for transformative and powerful information in this episode. Let's go. Once again, I'm back. It's the incredible, uncountable #1 podcast in the world. And if you don't believe that, then you need to ask somebody. Today, welcome back to Bounce TV. And again, we just have another amazing guest, someone who is doing just big things, not just here in Australia, but globally. But she's an Aussie girl. You know, she's from here in Australia. But as I said, she's doing big things around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to many and present to some Markesia Marcella. That's Italian. Did I pronounce that right, Markesia?
You got it.
Oh, okay. All right. See, my wife's going to be impressed that I nailed that. Look, I want to welcome you to the show. Thank you so much. I know we've been our schedules and stuff. I just got back from Alice Springs. You're traveling in the studio. Just thank you so much. It's such a blessing to have you on. I just want to jump in, if that's okay, real quick. I just want you to just tell us a little bit about you and kind of what you're doing, you know, right now. Some of the exciting things, and you're doing so many exciting things. Yeah, you know, and most importantly to me, just really empowering young people, because that's what we're about. We're about getting young people to dream the big dream and boldly go after it.
I hit a wall. I thought that I would hurt myself. Oh, I was sure your words will leave me unconscious.
So tell us a little bit about you, some of your background and where you're coming from and what you're doing today.
Sure. So I'm a Sydney girl, born and raised, South Sydney. My whole family's in Sydney and my whole community's there. I grew up just surrounded by music. I'm a proud Aboriginal and Tongan woman, and both of those cultures, both of my families are just so immersed in music. We would have like barbecues on weekends, cousins come over, and there's always someone with a guitar, someone singing. There's always music playing. It's just part of the way that we live and the way that we breathe, and it's so ingrained in our culture and who we are as people. And so I think that really influenced how I navigated the world as a young girl. And I just found myself from a very young age, I just knew that I wanted to be a singer. I knew that I wanted to write songs and do music. And I didn't know what that would look like or how I would get there, but I knew that that was what my passion was and what made my heart happy and what made my heart sing ultimately. And so I just got stuck into it, performed at every single community event there ever was around Redfern and probably the broader Sydney community as well. I was that annoying little girl singing Girl on Fire a dozen times, like at each of the events, and I loved it. And my community was so supportive. And when I was 13, just when I started high school, I started thinking about the future, and I had a dream to go study in New York and study music. And I'm here today doing that, currently in New York, also known as Lenape Hoking, studying at NYU, creating music and living out my dream, my childhood dream, ultimately.
Wow. Now,
it's pretty wild.
Now, we talk about dreams. Like you said, as a child, you had this really big dream, and now the dream, you know, I always say, first you got to take a hold of your dream, and then one day your dream takes a hold of you. Would you say that right now the dream, not only are you holding it, it's got a hold of you now?
Totally. I think it goes both ways, and it has to, like, it's not a thing that just happens. It's something that you have to constantly be engaged with and like constantly be invested in and fighting for. It's not like, oh, I got into NYU and that was it. Like, dream, tick that off the box. It's like, okay, now I'm going to move to the opposite side of the world, to a country where people don't know who my people are, my culture and my context, and be in a program full of like insanely talented kids who are just as driven and just as talented as I am, and work. Like, I think that, sure, like, you have to grab a hold of your dream, and it kind of takes a hold of you too sometimes. But I think even now, like, I find myself each day I wake up and it's a choice to like choose my dream and to choose to step into that and be the person that I need to be to, you know, seize that moment and those opportunities.
Wow, that's great. You know, I often say that to go somewhere you never been before, you must first become somebody you never were before. I think it's some big growth there. Based on that right there, one, do you agree with that statement? And tell us the growth that it took in you to be able to, one, like you said, get on an airplane, go to somewhere totally different. Or
Yeah.
how was that growth to get to that? Or again, were you always that type of person?
I definitely wasn't always that type of person. I was like the kid who would get like so homesick at school camps and would like cry and ask the teachers to call my mom. And even when I started traveling overseas as I like became a teenager, like those were really big stretches for me and really big challenges to leave the country and leave my family, someone who's such a homebody and just loves and is so deeply connected to my family and community. It's a stretch, and it still is today. And I don't know. I honestly, like, I've been here for a year in total, and only now do I kind of feel like I'm not getting too homesick. It's still definitely there, but it's taken time and sacrifice and resilience and just even like maybe pure desperation every day just to make that choice to go, okay, well, I'm not going to tap out. I'm not going to choose what's easy today. I'm going to choose the hard. I'm going to choose the hard, but the right way, and just literally take a step at a time. Like sometimes most of the time I felt completely out of my depth. And like I didn't know how I was going to get through the next 4 months before I get to go home for Christmas or before I get to go home and see my family for summer break. Like, I think it's not like a big transformation that happens all at once. It's like the little choices that you make each day just to go, okay, I say yes today. And some days, yes looks a little different. Some days, yes means literally getting out of bed and doing the bare minimum, getting my school assignments done, getting a coffee, and that's all I have the energy to do. And then other days, it's like, okay, I get out of the bed, I spend 9 hours in the studio, I go see a show, I go hang out with friends, I go to some networking event. Like, just yes looks different each day. And it's about just like being compassionate with yourself and kind to yourself and what that looks like on the different days.
Wow. You know, I really love that, especially that part when you said it's those little choices every day. Little choices every day that add up to become the situation that you're dreaming about. Not only, you know, you're known as an R&B singer, and I love R&B. I actually told Stacey, I said, I'm gonna put her on the spot and get her to give me some bars right on the show. I still may do that. And then I said, and Stacey said, that would be good. And then I said, well, I'm gonna probably get her to sing a duet with me. She said, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that one. And I was like, hey, stop hating. Stop the hate. But I mean, I think that music, because I love music, I won't even pack underwear when I go on a trip before I make sure my music is right. I love music. If I didn't play basketball, I think that's what I would be trying to be you. I would be trying to be you right now. I would be trying to chase this dream of singing and bringing my voice and what's in my heart to the world in that way. I think music is the most creative aspect of a human being. I mean, yeah, hats off to artists and painters and athletes and all of these other people we're creating too. But
Hmm.
to hear a song that no one's ever heard, oh my God, to I think it's something almost divine about it. And you hear this song, you hear this melody, you hear these verses, you hear these instruments in your head. Tell us what's that's like, and then to be able to take it and put it on paper, put it on audio, lay the track, do all of that. What
Yeah.
is that like?
It's funny. It's funny that you bring that up because I was literally having a conversation with one of my mentors maybe about an hour ago about the exact same thing. And she told me that she will never, ever, ever get used to how part of our job and part of our just who we are as humans and as artists and creators is like the fact that one moment something doesn't exist and that we can speak something or we can play a note or we can write some words down and then suddenly it does. And it's like this constant cycle of like taking and soaking in the gifts that other musicians, other people are giving and then giving back. It's like this constant recycling and like taking and giving. And I think for me, like, I think it just speaks so perfectly to how I've been raised and like the community mentality, because everything that I've ever known is people's generosity and people's kindness and their generosity of time, wisdom, whatever it might be. And then now finally I feel like I'm in a stage in my life where I'm able to give back. And I think music is just such a tangible way of doing that. And it's so, I don't know, beautiful and creative and weird. And just even still, I find it like hard to find the words to like explain it or even comprehend it myself. And I do it as a job and like a thing that I do every day. So I don't even know if I have an answer.
Wow. Well, I don't think it's too bad that you don't have an answer, but I just want you to keep doing it. Just keep doing it because I'm sorry. I remember, I think it was Quincy Jones said, music is something that you can't see, but you feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me get it right. He said, you can't see it, but it touches you.
Yeah.
And you feel it. When you singing and you sing R&B and stuff. So, and I'm a big R&B fan. I remember the first time I heard Anita Baker just go, and right then I'm transformed. You know what I'm saying? And that's that transformational power that you have. I mean, what is that like to know that you take your heart and your soul and you send it out in the world and you can see an instant, you see when you look out in that audience, you see people instantly transform. What is that like?
It's beautiful. And I like the way that I comprehend like my music and just being an artist is that it's like there's no choice. Like I don't think I have another choice but to do music, and I don't think I have another choice but to write songs and like give them to people. But even within that process of like performing a song and seeing it someone transform somebody or touch somebody, it's reciprocal. By knowing that has been received and someone's like felt anything, whether that's sadness, whether that's joy, whether that's peace or hope, whatever it is, just knowing that it's transformed somebody or given someone a different perspective or even a feeling, it's like job done. Like that's what it's about. And it's reciprocal. Like it's not just giving. By knowing that people are like listening and hearing what I have to say, or even the notes that I have to sing or even play, it's like a gift. And I remind myself every day that that's such a blessing that I have the opportunity to share and for it to be received as well.
Wow. Well, look, I didn't do it in the beginning, but let me give people some gravity about it. I know you kind of just flipped that out there that you got accepted to NYU. First of all, I'm from America. Let me tell y'all, everybody that don't get accepted to NYU. Everybody puts an application in, but not everybody. It's a rare group that get actually accepted in the NYU. Not only were you accepted in NYU, you're part of the Clive Davis, I think, Music Institute.
Uh-huh.
Now, for those of you who don't know who Clive Davis is, that tells right away that you don't sing for a living or you don't aspire to that. Because anybody that's ever carried a note in their pocket or anywhere knows who Clive Davis is, world famous producer, discovered so many great singers, people like Whitney Houston, different ones. You know, he was the guy that, if not discovered them, built their careers, taught them how to win at the game of music. I mean, you accept it, and you're now currently a part of that. I mean, that's rare air, girl. You cooking with gas. You got it's amazing. I mean, I would just be like, every day I walked in the building, I would be like, wow, I'm in New York, but I'm here and I'm a part of this. Yo, tell me about that journey to that, and now the way you are now, and what it's like now as when you go to school or do whatever, some of the people you're working with, everything.
Yeah. I mean, I harp on about it all the time, but I only harp on about it because I truly believe it and I feel a responsibility to tell people. But the only reason I am here today in New York, at the school I'm at, in the position that I'm in, is because of my community, the Aboriginal community back home. Because they were the people, when I was 8 years old, the ones putting me on stages, giving me opportunities to perform, to learn, to grow, and providing me with that safe space to make mistakes, mess up, like make a fool of myself, and they would still be there cheering me on, and they would give me the gig next year at the same NAIDOC event. You know what I mean? Like, these are the people like who have invested in me my whole life, not just in the past years, like past 4 or 5 years, like my whole life since I was born. These people have been there, like pouring into me. Two of my aunties filmed my application, like video submission for school, and edited it for me, and like conducted an interview to like make sure that the video that we were sending to NYU was the most excellent it could possibly be. People helping me write essays, people helping me get grants to help pay for my tuition. Like, it's just like the list goes on and on and on. And there are countless people that I am indebted to and who I give thanks to all the time. And they're the people, my community, the Aboriginal community, Tongan community, Sydney community in general. They're the people that have poured into me and really are the reason that I'm here today. And I think even still, like, I'm in my senior year, which is like my fourth year, my final year of my degree. And even still, when I walk into the building, like, we have studios, like tons and tons of studios with insane equipment and insane microphones, and it just is wild. And every day I walk in and I go, holy moly, I cannot believe that I'm here and I can just book a studio for 3 hours every day and hang out and write music and experiment and try weird stuff with microphone techniques and like recording techniques. Like, it's still wild to me, and I still haven't gotten used to, you know, the position that I'm in and the resources and the people and the creativity and knowledge that I have access to.
Wow. That sounds so amazing and so empowering. I mean, looking at your bio and stuff, I mean, at such a young age, you've done so much. You've added, like you said, you've taken, but you've given so much too back to your community. You use your music, you use your gift and your talent to inspire young people, not only just people where you come from, but to inspire a next generation of youth. Tell me a little bit about that. How do you get to, because some people get a lot of help, okay, as you know, from people, and these people never give back. They don't even look back sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
How did you become this type of person, and what was your thought process when you said, hey, I want to use my gift and my talent, not just for me, but I want to inspire others and help them and transform them and make them believe that they can live their dreams?
Well, I guess because I'm the result of that same generosity. Like, I think about my life and all of the people who have poured into my life and, invested, whether that's one conversation or like years and years of just being my auntie or my uncle or my mentor or whatever it is. So that inspires me because I want to do the same for other young people. And then also like doing this journey of applying for uni overseas or just having big dreams in general, thinking big is not easy because it's countercultural. And there are a lot of people who don't think that same way and don't think that it's possible to do things so big and like out of the ordinary. And I want to be, I guess, that person to tell young people, no, actually, if you want to be the next, I don't know, if you want to be like the first Aboriginal neuroscientist to work in X place, or if you want to be the first netball player to play overseas, like, I don't know, it's not even about the first. Like, if you just want to do big things with your life, like, I want to be that person to stand by them and say, with some grit, with community support and a whole lot of passion and determination, we can make it happen. And I just don't think, unfortunately, that there's enough of those people around. So I want to be that person. I want to fill that gap.
Wow. Girl, you some kind of amazing. When I first heard your name, Ian, our CEO, he mentioned you and he was all excited. And he was like, yo, Mackenzie, she's going to be our youth ambassador in New York.
Mm-hmm.
And she's going to do all it. Man, and he was on and on and on the flight. And it's a long flight from here all the way over there. And he was like, man, we just got to figure out a way to connect. And he was just so excited about that. And I just think being a youth ambassador for Charity Bounce, I'm assuming that that's just another way for you, another avenue for you to give back and empower young people, right? Would you say that?
Yeah, totally. And for me, it's like trying to put myself in as many places as I can to make myself accessible. Like, I realize there are so many incredible leaders who probably would be the greatest mentors ever, but it's so hard to get in touch with those people and to make that connection. And Charity Bounce, I think, is just, it's a community. And for me, that was like instinctual. I was like, from the first email that Ian sent me, I was like, of course I'm in. Like, how could I not be? This is a community of young people, of passionate people who want to, dream big things and do big things. And when I say big things as well, it doesn't mean that like you have to be the smartest person in the room or the richest person in the room or the most talented person in the room. When I say big things, it means doing things that feel big to you and things that makes your heart sing, or things that, I don't know, just makes you feel alive. So yeah.
Okay, I'm telling you, when at some point you're going to have to direct me, give me some names and numbers to this amazing community that produce you. I mean it. I mean it from my heart. We gotta, I want to meet these folks here. I want to be around them. I want your aunties to be my aunties, your uncles to be my uncles, to get to this. Cause I know at your age, I'm 58 now, but I was not as illuminating and excited as you are now. I feel like, and like I said, I feel like what you're doing is just so big. And as you grow with your career, and I know it's going to be tougher to connect with you once you that this thing really
it won't.
Okay. All right. I'll definitely be hoping and looking to do that. To stay in touch with you, because really, young people really need to be able to see somebody that's like them or look like them, or just some level of connection. Somebody to just believe and say, hey, you can do this. I believed it. I went after it, and you can do it too. I'm no better than you. You can do it too. And I want to thank you so much for not only just living this life that's inspiring, and I want to say this personally for me, you know, I know coming out of this interview right now, I'm going to be closer, or my thinking is going to be better. I'm going to be more inspired about the things that I'm trying to do with Charity Bounce. But also I want to thank you for never giving up, because I know it was situations, I know you probably have them every day that say, hey, you know, you did enough or whatever, just go back home and just quit. I want to thank you for that. And I guess, and also as a last question, I think I want to ask you is, why didn't you quit? Because I'm sure you don't get to where you are. And people, I'm telling you, look up these stuff. And I've only touched the tip of the iceberg of what this young lady is doing. She foundations and things that she started. Look her up. She's doing a lot. But to be where you are right now, it took a lot. And I know it was a lot. I know you got good people in your corner, a lot of good things, but I know you done had some tough times too. So I guess my last question is, why didn't you quit? I mean, you got people that loved you, that would have just embraced you. And if you came back home and just said, it was too big for me. Can you tell us right now, because as a young kid that's probably on the verge of quitting at some stage of their development, could just look at them right now and just tell them, why didn't you quit?
I didn't quit because I didn't have a choice. I don't know. I love music so much, and I'm so invested and so passionate about writing songs and producing music that everything else in my life seems so dull in comparison. So even just thinking about giving up and thinking about what my life would look like if I wasn't doing what I was called to do and what I love with my whole, with my entire body and my entire essence of who I am. That is enough for me to go, okay, I'll take the next step and just go, I'll do one more day. And then we can touch base tomorrow and see how we feel. But just that thought of thinking about what my life might be like if I turn away from the one thing that I love the most is just, it makes me sad. And it lights that fire in my stomach to go, okay, this, in comparison, my love for this is so much greater than the little bit of challenge and resistance and fear that I'm experiencing right now. So let's just push. And again, it's not like me going, okay, I'm going to do this for the rest of my life. It's me going, okay, I'm making the choice to do this for one more day. And then we can check in again tomorrow and see how we're feeling. But it doesn't need to be this big wild thing. It's literally those little choices and just going, okay, if I can't write a whole song today, I'll write a verse or I'll write a line. Or sometimes I might even get my phone out and sing a little melody, and that's enough. It's not making it too much of this big or overwhelming thing that it frightens the life out of me. It's just going, okay, one more step. As much, whatever that looks like, we're going to take it.
Wow. I mean, wow. Listen, when I grow up, I want to be like you. You going up on that wall of the people that I want to be like. And when you come, let me ask you on air right now, here on Bounce TV, when you get back for a visit, a Christmas, you got to come by in person, meet those kids, especially our young ladies. Because I'm always telling them about people like you. And what I mean like you, people like you at your core and who you are as a person, that passion that you got. I'm always talking about them and saying, look, find these people, make them your mentors. They don't even have to know it. Just follow them. You got this social media, follow them on Instagram and on anything and everything. So, and with that said, how can they connect with you? Do you have your social media? How can they kids here reach out to you?
I would love that. And I'm totally going to take you up on that. I'm a terrible ball player, just to let you know. I'll be stuffing up all the games. But look, I can promise that I'll be there for a good time.
All right.
But yeah, I'm on Instagram. I am Makaysha. Send me a DM. If you're making music, send me music. I would love to listen or just connect. We can grab a coffee when I'm back in Sydney.
Oh my God, you are so amazing. Marquesha, listen, I wish time would permit us longer. Hey, look, check this out. I got to run out because I'm going to the Sydney Film Institute. So much more inspired to do some filming there. You just know if I win the Golden Globe or something like that, the Oscar on it, you just know as I stand up and receive my award, I will be standing on your shoulders. I will be clipping coupons off of your life because you have inspired me and so many, 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 many other people who are watching this podcast. And I want to ask you, can we do this again at some point?
Please.
Definitely.
Yes, and thank you so much for having me as well. It's so lovely to have a space where I feel like we can just talk about these things and talk about dreams and all those big things. So thank you.
Well, thank you so much too. Well, look, everybody, again, this is the best part, the hardest part, ending such a enlightening and inspiring interview. I want to thank everybody for viewing. Again, you got our information. We'll have it on the screen. It could probably already on the screen where you can reach out to her. Yo, she asked you to send her some music. She gonna listen to your stuff, yo. Do you not understand how big that is? Somebody that's saying, I want to listen to what you're doing. So again, thank you so much from the bottom of our heart. We miss you. We can't wait for you to come back home. And when you do, you know, hey, come see us. We definitely got a place for you. And thank you again on behalf of Charity Bounce for being a youth ambassador as well as being an ambassador for Australia to the world. And thank you again. We're praying for you. Work hard and let's talk soon.
Thank you.
Take care. Be blessed.